Alhamdulillah, Wallahu Akbar.
I think if my children tomorrow can be compassionate human beings, can be strong enough to speak what is true, just, and fight for what is right, I think I've done my job. Last year, when the war on Lebanon took place, I took my children to protest, all 4 of them. You know, my eldest being 11, my youngest being 4. And I took them with my husband, and my husband and I both agreed. I said, if today we don't teach them to stand up for what they believe in and to fight for what is right publicly, tomorrow they won't do it. So I'm really hoping that I'm exposing my children to ideas, to concepts that they will, keep on doing the work, because the work is endless. Fighting for justice is forever.
One of my great optimisms is the generation that's coming. Like, if you could meet them, the children of the immigrants, who they're like. In Canada, these generations, like in their 20s, mid-20s, or early to mid-20s, and they're just getting married and having kids. And you should see the dynamism on campuses right now and some of the things they're doing, because they have many of the positive attributes that they got from their parents, the generosity, the respect for elders, those kind of things. But then they also have the confidence of a local Canadian.
Generation. They're very enthusiastic. They're using their faith as, part of the beacon to negotiate the society and to accomplish their goals, and they're very ambitious.
Something like this, to see a woman, the queen, of her college, and she's covered. These images I didn't have when I was coming up. So for now, young people, when they see something like this, it's encouraging. It gives them a kind of confidence to, it's okay for me to be covered and be Muslim, and I can still do those things. So they're changing the course of the traditional, ways of society. So.
Protection slavery.
Just find $1,000.
What's important as Muslims is for us to try to understand others from their own perspective as we ask them to understand us. It's so easy to make assumptions about other people, other cultures, other civilizations on the basis of a superficial assessment. But if we come to study other people, we may not agree with the solutions that they came up with, but we can still appreciate the impulse behind what they're doing.
I want to thank the organizers for inviting me here to this event. I really very much benefited from Dr. Bill Ryan's very thoughtful presentation.
We are working very hard to demonstrate and model a community that's based on tolerance and respect without losing our identity, without saying, well, let's just forget about religion, that's the way we'll get along. And we're also engaging with people of other faiths in good works, in activism, in social justice, without becoming less Muslim. We still are good Muslims, inshallah. You know, we practice our religion and we want to put it in action and in society.
The thing about the other in Islam is that the other is a reflection of Allah. And so it's just one more facet of the splendor of Allah. So when we look at the other, we don't say, oh, this is someone who's different from me, and so therefore they're not as good as me, or, you know, I'm going to think less of them. But rather, this is someone who's different from me, and therefore, in learning about this person, I can learn more about Allah.
When I think I referred to, you know, my neighbors and my friends and my colleagues, members of my society as non-Muslims, I'm putting up a barrier right there. And so I like to, again, look at individuals as individuals and not necessarily label them as being non.
My methodology has been, because the Quran teaches respect of every human being, right? And it says, and then there's Surah Kafirun, you to your way and me to my way. And that was one of the most compelling verses when I was deciding whether or not to become a Muslim. This verse in the Quran which talks about you to your way and me to my way. And so what I'm trying to do is to teach, even by using the non-word, but to teach still that the Quran still commands you to treat everybody with respect.
On a beaucoup de préjugés des non-musulmans envers les musulmans, l'islam. On a du mal à départager ce qui vient de la religion, ce qui vient de la tradition. Alors on est là pour recevoir cette information, pour être plus en mesure de la mettre en contexte les films qui vont être présentés au cours de la semaine.
You know, people are very interested right now in Islam, in Muslims, and in Muslim women, who she is, what, you know, who she's about, what she's saying, what she's doing. So it's an area of interest.
Now they have a chance to kind of, like Miriam said, tap into our world and see that we're you know, not that different than anyone else. You know, that we're Muslim women and we ride motorcycles and do different things.
Now they see her speaking for herself, and people are so interested to see that. I mean, take the simple when we're walking into public, going to the grocery store or anything, and people are just staring at you, waiting to hear something, and the moment you speak to them. Yesterday, the lady was like, wow, you speak. You know, and I said, yeah, I do. She said, you speak good English too. And I said, yeah, I do. And she said, where are you from? And I said, from here.
Excuse me, I have an issue.